go. Welcome back to the group stage of the Rongyi Cup, the Rongyi Cup Season 3. We're here with the final group as well, Group D. We've already confirmed our first 6 players to make it into the playoffs, and we're here to confirm our final 2. We have 3 players left. We have Maru, Solar, and Cyan, and 2 of them will make it through into the playoffs. Oh boy. Here we go. We're going to be getting into this. Did see in the chats, how would Cristiano respond if we did see Colossus instead of Disruptors? One of the reasons why Colossus is a very niche kind of option in PvP, which we do see every now and then, but it is very niche, is because the reality is Disruptors counter Colossus. So usually if one player goes Colossus, the other player is either already going Disruptor or can react with Disruptors themselves. That's typically the way that you would go there. You would not go into Phoenix's. Phoenix anti-air, the Phoenix anti-air is actually very low. It's very, very low, so you wouldn't go Phoenix's to counter Colossus. You would go into Disruptors instead. Traditionally, I should say, traditionally. But it's been a while since we've seen that dynamic here, and again, we have our first series, not involving Protoss. We have Terran and Zerg, we have Maru and Solar going to be stepping into the ring. And let's jump in. Let's jump into Winter Madness. We do have our first game. We do have our fresh series. As a reminder, this is going to be a best of 3, purely best of 3. And we're jumping into our first game. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Zerg player. We have the Red Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran representing Team Vitality. It is Maru. Let's go. Let us go. Now, TvZ in a matchup that has changed quite a bit over the past year, which I really do appreciate. I will say that TvZ in a lot of matchups were very stale. They're very, very stale, very one note. If you remember last year, especially around DreamHack Dallas, we saw non-stop ARAXs for a very, very long time. Of course, mech and battle mech was a big thing back then as well, before the patch, before the change of the Cyclone. And that was kind of plaguing the meta was mech and ARAXs. But big changes were made. The first one is the Baneling. If you remember, the Baneling was buffed, the HP was increased, which means that Ling Bane is a lot more viable. Previously, it was very standard, very meta to go for Roach-based openers instead. That was one of the issues that I personally had with TvZ, but now Ling Bane is more viable. Not just that, but because of the changes and the buffs to the Spire, it does mean that Ling Bane Muta is more accessible as well. So we have been seeing more Muta play in TvZ, which I do appreciate, but I would also say it's a little bit more map dependent. On some of these larger maps, it is more viable to go into Mutas, otherwise you can still be punished. Otherwise, Ling Bane play has been more viable and more active, of course, and Ling Bane into Ultra is still very trendy. We saw that previously before the patch hit. We were seeing a lot of Ling Bane Ultra or Roach Ravager Ling Bane Ultra as well. But Zerg players have been getting more options. Likewise, so with Terrans. I mentioned earlier that we just saw mech or ARAX. Like mech or ARAX, that was like for the majority of 2025. But now that mech is less viable and now that ARAXs are weaker, we have been seeing more active play from Terran as well. We've been seeing more active mid game, more active drop play, and a little more aggression in general in TvZ. Has been a little more fun. But we'll see how Maru will adjust. I will say that Maru, he is known for being the king of just turtling. Like he's a very, very turtle heavy player. If he can get there, I would say he has the best turtle play compared to anyone else. And oh my god, that is a 3rd CC before factory. Jesus. Hyper greed out of Maru. This is a very bold move. I would expect to see this on Celestial Enclave. To see this on Winter Madness is crazy. So crazy greed out of Maru. The goal here is to rush into the mid game with a boosted economy. With a very boosted economy. It's on Solar to figure out what's going on. If Solar doesn't punish, it's going to be 3cc 3x. No shot. This is a TVP build. Okay. So 3cc 3x as he actually accidentally did lift his CC. Yep, there we go. There's that 3rd Rax. Now, what does this mean? If Solar scouts, what can he do? Solar can be hyper greedy. Because of this build, no Hellions, right? There's no factory. There's no Hellion harass whatsoever, so Solar can freely drone up as hard as he can, get a 4th base, spread creep as much as he can as well, and go by unimpeded and skip lings, right? He can skip early Zerglings because there's no need for early Zerglings against this greedy of a build. Basically, Solar could meet this greed and try to exceed that greed or just keep up with that greed. That is an option. Otherwise, what is this also really weak against? Roach all-ins. Roach all-ins will kill this just because of the delay on the factory, which means no tanks, right? There's no defensive tanks here. There's no defensive setup. Also, because there are no Hellions, Maru has limited scouting, right? Like Maru, if there were an all-in coming, Maru would have a really hard time scouting the all-in because there are no Hellions to be active to check for 3-base saturation, right? He wouldn't be able to scout the third whether or not Solar's even joining up. So against this kind of build, you want to go one of the extremes, either an all-in or hyper greed to keep up, if not exceed the greed of the Terran player. But right now, Solar doesn't know. Right now, Solar, he's trying to get some vision. He pokes in. Solar, he sees all the Marines. For all he knows, it could be a 2-on-1. Right, this could be a 2-on-1, this could be a 3cc 2-on-1, it could be a 3-rax, it could be a 3cc 3-rax, which is what we're seeing here. So Solar has incomplete information, but what he has seen so far is lack of Hellions, so he can assume that again it's one of the more biocentric builds. So Solar, he can make at least that assumption. And you can see 1 EVA chamber. What does this mean? He believes it's a 2-on-1. Going for the 1 EVA chamber is to go specifically for +1 carapace so it can be ready for the stim timing. Unfortunately, this is a bit of a misread. We could have seen double EVA chamber, double upgrades, because this stim timing is going to be hitting late. So it's going to be a late timing here from Maru because it was really more economic more than anything. So this reaction from Solar is less than ideal. As you can see, Solar's maxing Lings. Why is he maxing Lings? He's getting ready for the stim timing. The stim timing that isn't there. So this does scream a 2-on-1 reaction and a 2-on-1 response. Maru's just chilling. He's just chilling, getting the armory, getting ready for 2-2 upgrades instead. So very fast upgrades here by Maru. Solar, now he's droning, but again, these drones are a little bit later. So now he's droning up. Now he's getting his second Evo chamber. Now he's getting his Bailey nest. And Maru should be pushing with his 3 bases. Sorry, I should say he should be pushing with 2-2. So the armory is done. The armory's on the way. 2-2 will soon begin, and then Maru can go for a later, I would say around 7 minutes, 7.5 minute timing with the 2-2 upgrades. Oh, never mind. He's going for a 4th CC. Okay. So Maru is getting a boosted economy and he's pushing further into a longer game. But with that advantage, with that upgrade advantage. The upgrades with the economy. Here we go. 2-2 has now begun. Once again, the Solar, he's getting his safety bannings ready. And Maru's just chilling. Medevac set finally arrives, so Maru can start to move out with his drop play. He can move out with his drops. Meanwhile, Solar going for his own 5th expansion. 5th base is on the way. Getting +1. Again, the upgrades are lopsided because he believed there was going to be earlier aggression. But he's rushing into the hive. And so far, Maru has had a very comfortable start. Very comfortable. I should also emphasize, because of what we mentioned before, if you're out there, do not do this build. Like 3cc 3x and TvZ is crazy, man. It's crazy. This is not safe for ladder. You're gonna do this on ladder, and then like a random roach roll is gonna hit you, and you're like, "That's what? Like what? How can Maru do this?" Yeah, it's it's not safe for ladder. As Maru, very nice positioning here. He does avoid the surround, trading well, moving out with another double drop on the right hand side. So far, nice control. Maru, he has yet to lose a Marine. I believe losing just the Reaper. No, sorry, just one SCB. You can see here the efficiency. As Maru's pushing further on creep, getting into the middle line, drones are going down. Gets 3 drone kills so far. Widowmine does borrow. Marshall goes off. Oh, Nice splits. Thankfully, some nice splits. Drop here on top of the cliff face into the mineral lines. Yeah, more drones going to be falling. Gets a gas geyser as well. We'll lose one of the medevacs though. Yeah, one medevac goes down. Abandons the Marines. Marines are abandoned. Oh, one baneling does connect. So Maru's slipping up a little bit here and there. But still, these are better trades for the Terran. Going for the cancellation. Oh, does force a cancel. Denies the 6th base. Main army's pushing in, going for the 4th. It's going for the 4th expansion. Thankfully, things are slowing down. The drops have been dealt with. Solo was scrambling for defense. But he's holding on. Maru's maxed. Maru's maxed out. He's going for the expansion. Solar, his main army here is not quite in position. The mine shots. Mine shots, they go off. Not the best connections here. And Solar defends. Yeah, Solar, he does defend. Where are the medevacs, by the way? Oh my god. No medevacs whatsoever. Which means Maru, he's going to lose everything here. Yeah, he will lose everything. There's no evac. Oh, even forcing friendly fire. Where are you, Pac? So some messy fights here by Maru. Getting messy. As meanwhile, drop gets into the main base, going for the lurker den. Does get a snipe, does deny the upgrades. Massive pickup. Ooh, and without lurkers, Solar, I don't know if he can defend. Like, lurkers are a big power spike to slow the game down and to defend against these main pushes. Without the Maru, he can keep going. He can and he will. Yeah, drop back into the bases. We have a drop here at the 3rd, drop in the 4th. Distracting Solar, creating an opening. Oh no, the medevacs, they just go into the... Oh, they go into the Hydras, but before full medevacs go down. Maru. Yeah, a bit of miscontrol here. He rallies into the main army, rallies into the Hydras. Okay, Solar's in this. He's... Solar's in this, Pappy. He's good to go. Again, we had some great drill play, some great harass with Maru. He throws away his Doom drop. Throws away his medevacs. Solar comes in from behind. Collapsing on the Marines. And against Solar, he's gained map control. Up until this point, Solar was on the back foot, but after Maru threw away his army, Solar, he can push. He can push, he can move out. Trading well against the player. Lurker upgrades are being rebuilt. And you can see the dynamic swing from one player to the other. Again, it was 2 minutes ago, 1 minute ago even, where Solar, he was struggling to keep up with the drops here at the 4th base, at the 5th base, in the main, at the 3rd. All that has ended. All that has ended. All that has stopped. Solar can now focus on macroing. Lurkers are now morphing in. And Maru's in trouble. I would say this way, Maru, he is in trouble. Maru, he has no Ghost Academy. Just now getting it. Speaking of an expansion, true. It's a base. But I am worried about the lurker move outs. Again, there are no ghosts or no liberators. Another medevac goes down. Lurkers are in position. They're in position. Solar now has the freedom to counterattack. Takes down 21 SCVs. 21 workers full. At the same time, Solar forced to cancel back at home, but this is worth it for Solar. He cripples the economy of Maru. The economy has been crippled. Solar, he races back home. Nidus into the main base. I believe the lurkers are inside. They are. Going for the Nidus, distracting Maru. And the Nidus will finish. Yeah, the Nidus is going to complete. Maru underreacting. Okay, didn't notice. Didn't notice. Looks like the Ghost was just on a move. Lurker's 8 bust into the main. And again, Maru's just being torn apart. He's out of position. The forward base is exposed. It is the planetary at least. Oh, and Solar, he's stuck on a move. There we go. Solar steps forward. Yeah, Solar a little bit late. Bailings they roll into the mineral line, and we do get some master connections. 12 more SCV kills, and it kills the planetary. Maru, he's struggling to keep up. He's struggling. Now, the scary thing here is just how open the low ground location can be. We'll see if Solar keeps striking or does rotate towards the left-hand side instead. We'll see if Maru can keep up. Okay, going for the Spire. Setting up for potentially a greater Spire in Broodlords. Solar, he's collapsing in. Once again, there's no defensive setup here. Once again, more SCV is going to be going down. Oof. Yeah, 14 dead SCVs. Zones back the army, and he doesn't actually kill the main army, but doesn't need to. Doesn't need to. Killed 16 workers. Solar pulls away and can just keep doing this. Just keep doing it over and over again. Nice worm into the natural. Maru can't quite respond. Thankfully, there isn't really much to kill in the natural, but he can catch reinforcements. So Lurker's Zubaro. They try to. Lurker's going to be dealt with at the same time. Solar just kills a base. Planetary's exposed, it's on its own. And another expansion goes down. And again, Maru, he shouldn't be able to recover. Once again, if you're curious, maybe you weren't here at the start of the game, this all just stems from Maru losing his Doom Drop. He lost 4 full medevacs. He just ran into all the Hydras. And we pointed it out, that was the moment where the aggression ended. That is the moment when Maru lost control of the game. And ever since then, Solar's been looking very comfortable. Knocking down base after base. Securing himself, slowing the game down. Now the main army is still terrifying for Maru, but the economy is not there, right? Maru, he can't sustain this army. As he bleeds out units, he won't be able to replace it. So we have one fight, one big fight here for Maru. So one shot, one chance. Lings they distract. Solar getting +3. It's getting 3/3/3 upgrades. Moves in, trying to catch a tank. Does get one. No, not even. Yeah, tank survives. This is a little bit wasteful here from Solar, pushing within range of these 3 tanks. So rough fight for the Zerg. That is what Maru's hoping for. He wants Solar to take some bad fights. These lurkers, they won't really get much done. And Maru, he's in this. He's still in this here. As you mentioned, he has one big terrifying army. He's got his Death Ball. He just needs to fight within range of his tanks. And Solar needs to not push through the center. Like, well, actually, now's the moment. Yeah, now's an opportunity. Gets a tank. Gets 1, gets 2, might get up to 3. 2. 2 tanks go down. Maru did leave them exposed. Maru's pushing onto creep. Solo's injecting. Lings, they sit by, they get a mineral line. Ooh, that's gonna be 11 dead SCBs. And a tank. Not just one, he gets 1, 2, 3 tank kills. Gets 3 tanks and pulls away. Again, just picking Maru apart. Maru does have a super max army. Something that would help Solo here is spellcasters, whether he had infestors, mainly infestor and fungal. But for now, he's just heavily reliant on a much more mobile composition set, and this still works, right? Because he has momentum. If he didn't, then I'd be more concerned. But once again, the army's out of position. Once again, we're getting free tanks. Getting 1, 2 tanks go down, 2 wood mines as well. Another tank kill. So 3 tanks, 2 wood mines. Solo remaxing. Maru, he has yet to gain any real ground. Now he's slowly pushing forward. Oh, Jesus. As the ghosts almost get caught out. Oh, they will. Yeah, detection has arrived. Diving on the ghosts. And all the ghosts are going to fall. Massive pick up here. Ay, that should not have happened. Yeah, the pants were down. Maru gets caught out, losing the planetary, the mineral line, and most of the ghosts. Also, that was 8 ghosts getting picked off. Not like this. And Maru, he's broke. As you can see, Maru, he has no bank, he has no money. Lings, they hit the center expansion once again. Getting more orbitals, more CCs. At the same time, we do see Maru pushing forward, but there is Ling Bane to defend. Oh, he wants a CC. He wants it. Doesn't quite get it though. Doesn't get the command center. A little bit wasteful here from Solar. Never mind. At the same time, he gets 3 more tanks. Once again, Maru, he abandons his siege line. 3 tanks go down. Solar, he wants more. He gets a 4th tank. Almost 5. So takes down 4 tanks. At the same time, Maru does push forward. He will take down some of these expansions. So getting more tanks. I mean, he just noticed that there's nothing here. So more tanks going down. And a mineral line. Oh, where are we going? So the mineral line finds another stray tank. And another. Was that like 6 tanks? Jesus. Almost resets the tank count, catches these 2 stray liberators. And we mentioned before, Maru, he has no money. He has 24 gas, he has 60 minerals in the bank. He has no money. Cannot max. Still has a massive army, don't get me wrong. But again, it's one and done. So he does collapse on those tanks. Gets 1, gets 2. 2 tanks go down. As soon as Solar runs out of Lings, he backs off. Now, Solar has been losing a lot of hatcheries, and this is impacting his larva. True. Like, Solar, his larva is very limited, and he's going to be losing more bases. Solar cannot spend his money. Uh-oh. Yeah, cannot spend his money here. As more bases are going down. Solar, because he decided to stay on a Ling Bane Hydra composition, it's very larva intensive. Very, very larva intensive. So the lack of bases here, it's hurting Solo quite a bit. Because he just lost the center right bases, so 2 hatcheries, 3, 4, 5 hatcheries just went down. He needs to spend his money. Nice catch. Picking up another CC. Another CC, more SCV kills as well. Again, Maru does have the more efficient composition. In a head-on fight, Maru can win. And Solo needs time to actually spend his money. And Solo's going to be forced to fight. Yeah, he's forced to fight. He has to engage here. He cannot lose these bases, but I don't think Solo can win this fight head-on. He has to give it up. The snipes. Gets a Viper. Gets the expansion. Yeah, Solo, he cannot fight here. He has to give it up. Maru can still win this. No shot. Yeah, snipes are popping up. Solar, he's gonna go for it. It does fight head on. Does land one of the fungals. Lands another, but no link bane. Yeah, there's not enough link bane here. As you mentioned, Solar, he needed to avoid this fight. And Maru, despite being on like 30 workers for most of this game, like he's doing it. The mule's true. It's muling on up. And again, this is partly on Solar. As I mentioned before, like he chose not to try to get into a more like lurker heavy composition or like brood lord composition. Like he chose to stay on link bane Hydra. And this is one of the weaknesses of this kind of composition, is that, hey, if your production starts to be stifled, like if you start to lose bases, then what can you do? Solar, he had this game. Maru made a lot of mistakes in the early and mid game as well, but he locked it in back. Now there is still a chance. The big thing here that Solar has are the infestors. If he can land 1 or 2 juicy fungals, then he could collapse on the army and win the game. Like there's like one Hail Mary play here with his infestors. Okay, now he's morphing in his lurkers. Okay. Two infestors, 2 fungals. Like very quickly, suddenly this one from a comfortable game for Solar to now things are looking very dire. Very, very dire. As Solar, this is the mining. He's got what, 5 patches here. As another base is going to go down. Another expansion falls. Oh, nice EMP. Nice EMP. Oh, the EMPs are brutal here. And where's the follow-up? Yeah, solo over his lurkers here towards the top side. They're on the top side. Now, can we, never mind, this is scan. I was gonna say, can we set up like a trap and try to like hold position micro the lurkers? Scan reveals all of them. How many ghosts are there? 5. 5 ghosts. Now suddenly, because of this higher lurker count, it's not gonna be as easy here for Maru to engage. Maru, he wants to. Things they attempt to run by. Lurkers are pushing forward. Typically against a high lurker count like this, you'd have tanks, ghosts, and liberators, but because of the low economy, Maru can't really afford that. Side swap up there. Gets 1. Gets 2. 2 lurkers go down. See Solar trying to catch out this Bio army. That's Marines. They slip into the mineral line. Nice moves out of Maru. He creates an opening. He escapes with his main army. Let's pull away. As you can see, Solar desperately wants an expansion. Maru, he is focusing on tank production. Still only has 5 ghosts. The low ghost count is concerning. But he's rebuilding his tanks. He's rebuilding his siege line. Lurkers, they move in. They will get 1 tank for the price of 1 lurker. So 1-to-1 trade. I'll say that's better for Maru. So the tank. Lings, they flood in. We've seen this before, but Maru, he abandons his tanks. It's going to be 3 tanks falling in total. But Maru, he's getting a fresh mining base. Yeah, he doesn't care about this base anymore. He's abandoning this location, expanding in the center. This is a fresh base with a high-yield gas geyser. Solar, he cannot let this happen. He's going for the Nidus behind the mineral line. But Solar, he has to stop this. Otherwise, that will be game. Yeah, Lurker goes down. Now, Solar still has those now 3 infestors. Has the infestors. Maru still has the better army though. And the biggest problem here is that because Maru no longer is protecting this expansion, now he's not spread thin anymore, right? He does leave some units here to protect the entrance into his natural, but now he can focus everything here at this center expansion to defend the base behind it, which is also mined out as well. So, yeah, now the army is very centralized here for Maru. Snipe some of the lurkers. And Solar cannot touch this base anymore. And that's why he's trying to push into the natural instead. Things are now looking very dire for Solar. But he's getting another expansion. And he at least mined out through some of bottom left. This is the big issue here with this map. I say big issue, we brought this up when we were judging the TLMC maps, is that this center expansion allows you to defend the base behind it, but also defend the bottom left and center left as well. Like, these 3 bases are very centralized, and once you can hold on to the center one, then you can just get 3 bases. These 3 bases are now in control of Maru. At least Solar did mine through some of these mineral patches. Let's get a couple of tanks. So basically, Solar has top right with these 3 bases, and Maru has bottom left with these 3 bases. Solar rotating over. Maru not quite in position. So we get a tank. And the start goes off. Does land a fungal. Does get some okay baning connections, but Solo has to get the hell out of here. He needs his lurkers. Oh my god. One lurker goes down. The ghost kind of is building up now to 8 ghosts. The Ling Rumba has potential here. Find some damage. And Maru's army is fragmented. Okay, best case scenario for Solar. Catching out all these Marauders. That's what, 4 Marauders going down. Very nice. It's maybe the best engage that we've seen from Solar in a couple of minutes. As Maru's army was just all over the place. Lurkers, they get in bottom left. Maru again out of position. Nice moves here by Solar. Main army moves in. Gets another tank. Maru just being pulled apart here. Being thrown away by the lurkers, straight by the infestors. Lurkers move in. Center location here has been broken. It's been compromised. Again, really nice moves here out of Solar. Gets another tank. And he wants another. Not this time. I'll pick up micro. The main army rotates to the bottom side. Does find a couple of tanks. The ghosts are trying to get away. Oh, they're getting caught out. Oh, no! Yeah, there's not enough room. Not enough room with the Metamax. Massive pickups here. 5 ghosts go down. That's the majority of the ghosts. No shot. No shot. Oh, the Vipers are extended. No, the Vipers. Losing one. Losing both Vipers for free. The Infectious as well. Oof. Initially, that was a very good fight for Solo, but he threw away his Infestors and his Vipers. So a bit of miscontrol with the army. Solar slipping up. Yeah, we're getting messy, Pat. We're getting messy. Seems like catching reinforcements. I mean, these are only Marines and Marauders, so very nice trades here for Solar. That one lurker distracting, getting 9 SCV kills. The Lings are moving towards the center. Remember, these are all orbitals, no planetary, right? There's no planetaries here. So these bases are exposed. Maru, he's reacting here to the Ling counterattack. He's out of position. Another base is going to go down. 2 bases, actually. He's counterattacking. Okay. Maru, he's just F2ing. He's F2ing everything to top right. He's like, you know what? Let me knock down these bases. Let me knock down these expansions. Solar, he's trying to react, trying to respond. Does he have any lurkers left? 0 lurkers. Oof. Without any lurkers, it's all about these fungals. One fungal lands. It's premature. Yeah, it's a premature fungal. There's no follow-up. There's 1 fungal left. Base goes down. And once again, Solar cannot engage into this army. Nice thing run by, though. He does cripple the economy. Economy's being crippled. Solar has to be patient. It doesn't feel good, but he just has to go with the bases. Like, he just has to give it up. As he's killing all the economy here of Maru. And Solar, he just has to blow away. Yeah, like, this is the mature decision. It makes sense. It doesn't feel good, but Solar just has to give up on the entirety of these bases. He doesn't save his drones. He has to preserve his army, wait for more energy, get some more fungals. Oh, and try to catch the army unsieged. Yeah, Solo's coming in. Remember, he has 1 fungal available. Oh, lands. Yeah, the fungal does land. And does Solar have enough? Does he have enough here? It's still an awkward fight. He does not. Yeah, it doesn't have enough despite the fungal. Ay, ay, ay. Not enough Ling Bane. Like, Solar did outposition Maru. Like, the positioning was better, was superior for Solar, but the numbers just aren't there. The supply isn't there. Solar long distance mining. Maru's down to 1 SCV, but he has mules. Bear that in mind. He does have mules, so he can land and technically have a better economy than Solar. Speaking of mules, does find a handful of them. And Maru just wants to push. Once again, like, Maru, he has the better army. Catching out some of these drones. Oof. Solo has to pull away. Does have a lurker. Okay. He's got his the one lurker's holding the line. The lurker back. How many infestors? Two infestors. We have 2 more lurkers on the way. Solo long distance mining on the right hand side. Meanwhile, where are the mules? Yeah, no economy for Maru. Moves in. Ooh, does get the lurker. Did miss some transfuse. Yeah, Solo was inattentive. So he's down to 2 lurkers. Every unit counts. You can see once again Solo wants to try to catch the army, but even with the fungal, I don't know if he can fight. Nice pre-split. Nice spread. Fungal lands. No follow-up. Yeah, like he lands the fungal, but there's no follow-up. Oh, Queen gets caught out. Does pull away in time. Oh no, the lurkers! Yeah, lurkers are exposed. 1 lurker goes down. Does land the fungal. He's gonna go for it. He's gonna commit. Nice baby connections. Very nice. The Banelings do connect. The Hydras push in. We need to transfuse. Transfuse. Oh, there it is. He transfuses and Solo, he's done it. He's done it. Barely. Ay, ay, ay. Against Solo, he's been dead for like, what, 15 minutes? Like, it's been a very, very, very rough position for Solar, as he's been avoiding the fight for the past 15 minutes. But the comeback is real. As again, he's just been having to give up base after base after base, avoiding the main engagements, but slowly has been able to pick away at the tank count. And again, has been able to outposition Maru multiple times. Maru, he's muling. Alright, what does Maru have left? He has 1 ghost. He has 1 ghost, 3 marauders, and 3 marines. This is the army. Straight up, this is the army. Meanwhile, Solar, he has his queens, which can't really come into play when it comes to an aggressive fight. But he has all these drones left over. That's what's important. Once Solo can retake these bases, he will have an economy. He saved the drones. He saved his drones. Who's winning? After that fight, Sola. Sola's in a committing position. And it has been a very swingy game. Like, initially, if you remember, Solar, he was in control of the game. He was knocking down bases for the first 10-15 minutes. That was after Maru lost his Doom Drop. Then everything swung in favor of Maru when Maru was able to take down 5 expansions in like 1 minute. If you remember, he took down the 3 bases, then another 2, crippled the production, and then Maru was in control. And now it's back to Solar. Now it's back to Solar. With the non-stop counterattacks, run-bys, Nidus worms, Ling run-bys. Now, does that mean that now it's back to Maru? Now it's we'll see. I mean, the problem here is that Maru, because he lost so much in the center of the map, it's going to take a long time to actually build up any kind of semblance of an army. And as I was mentioning, this is going to favor Solar that much more because of his higher drone counts. Like, Maru, yes, he's slowly rebuilding his SCVs, but Solar's economy is coming back online faster. And that's going to result into a larger army, of course. I will say that Solar could get some more bases. Like, the lack of hatcheries is a little bit concerning. You could argue that there are so few patches here that maybe it isn't worth it. Maybe it isn't worth expanding and getting these bases. So maybe he's just content long distance mining. Just because there are so few patches left. Meanwhile, Solar did lose all of his infestors in that last fight, so he has no fungals remaining. But because Maru has no economy, you can see here he's remaxed on what? On Marine Marauder. That 1 ghost is the 1 ghost survived. He hasn't been able to rebuild any ghosts. So this is a very mid-tier composition. It's Marine Marauder medevac. But back to the start of the game. To be fair, he's up against mainly Ling Bane Hydra, but there are some lurkers in the mix as well. And these lurkers are a problem. If we had more ghosts, then they could snipe. As he moves out, Lings move in. The economy again is crippled. Oof. Nice mine shots. Nice mine connection. Solo once again is restricting this army quite a bit. He knows how much potential there is with the bio. Maru gets another expansion, another Ling run by here, catching reinforcements. These Marines are on their own. Yeah, no medevacs. No medevac support. Widow Mine is about to reset. Ling's AP love to kill more SCVs. Another mine. Oh my god. And that splits towards the end, and Solo will clean this up. Cleans up the reinforcements. Zero mining here for Maru. Again, he has no other CCs, no other orbitals. And it looks like Solo, he's just abandoning this base. He's abandoning these bases. He's rebuilding a spawning pool on the top side. And GG gets called. Maru cannot defend back at home, and Solari takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. A crazy game, very back and forth. As we mentioned, initially Solar, he had control of the game. Oh, sorry, I should say, initially Maru had control of the game, with Maru going for a 3cc, 3 racks before the factory, if you recall. Hyper greed out of Maru. Maru, he was able to dictate the pace of the game. He was going for a lot of drop play, and then Maru lost 4 medevacs. He lost 4 full medevacs on the right hand side. The moment that happened, Solo was able to stabilize, able to get into hive tech, able to get into lurkers, and able to take control of the map. And with that, Solo was looking very comfortable for like a good 10-15 minutes, where he was knocking down base after base, knocking down mineral lines. But there was a moment when he did invest a lot of Ling Bane into harassing. That's the moment when Maru ignored it, went for his own push, his own counterattack, and started knocking down expansions. He knocked down 5 hatcheries in a matter of moments, and that meant that Solo, who was very Ling Bane focused and Ling Bane heavy, didn't have the larva to rebuild. He had a bank. He had a 5k bank, but Solo couldn't spend his money. And with that, we saw that Maru was able to cripple the economy, cripple the production and the economy as well, and kind of drag Solo down into the dirt with him. With that, we saw Maru take control of the map. We saw him take control of the game. Maru was just knocking down bases. We saw that Solo had to avoid the main fight for, again, a good 10+ minutes. Just could not engage head on with Maru until, you know, Maru was outpositioned. We saw multiple times where even though Solo had a much smaller army, he was able to outposition, get some free tanks, catch some fungals, get some bio, get some marauders in the center, get the ghost. There was one moment where he caught 5 ghosts towards the top side as well. So there's some key moments where Solo was able to catch out Maru where his army was out of position. GG. Whew, GG, well played. But that was crazy. That was a crazy game, baby. And with that, we're going to be loading into game 2. Solo has a lead in the series, and now we're going to be loading into White Rabbits. Meanwhile, a big shout out to Crypto Biotic. Thank you so much, Pappy God. Thank you so much for subscribing for the first time with Twitch Prime. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoy the content, hope you enjoy the casting, hope you enjoy the StarCraft as we are getting into game number 2. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the South Korean Zerg player, we have the Red Zerg representing Team Falcons. It is Solar. And spawning in the top right hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the South Korean Terran player, we have the Blue Terran representing Team Vitality. It is Maru. Thanks for casting these case. You're welcome, Papi, you're welcome. Como siempre, as always, Papi, as always. Whew. Mary couldn't make the comeback. I mean, he did have comebacks in that last game. Like, it didn't win the game, but he was able to recover from some really rough positions and from being behind, right? Like, as you mentioned, like, that last game was very swingy, right? Where initially Maru was ahead and had control, and then he lost that to Solar, and then Solar lost that to Maru. So some crazy swings in that last game. Ah. Here we go. I think we'll get to 0 remaining minerals. We have seen that before, but that's usually done in I mean, I say we've seen that before. It's been years. In previous metas, with mech, with especially Swarm Host, for example, and Skytos, like we have seen like mined out bases, but that was back in like Heart of the Swarm, right? If you remember like the Swarm host era, that's because you know Zerg had a much more viable kind of cost-efficient composition with Swarm hosts, so they can get away with like mining out the map and being very cost-efficient. Likewise, same with Mech back then. That was back when there was Hunter Seeker Missile as well, so Mass Raven was a lot more cost-efficient as well. Basically, that was in the era of energy-based units, right? Or free units when it comes to Swarm hosts, when it comes to Ravens, when it comes to Skytos as well, which was also relying on like Storm and of course their greater range, their greater capital ships. And there was a period in time where it was a lot more common to see mined out maps. It was a dark time. It was it was a very dark time. There's a lot of very long, very late games with like Betrayus, with Snoots, with Stefano, with Firecake, of course. But the majority of the Zergs, especially in the foreign scene, were going like mass Swarm hosts back then, and yeah, it was it was a dark time. But in modern StarCraft, in Legacy of the Void, it's a rarer sight. I want to say it's been done, especially like a couple of years ago when ZVT was a lot more common to turtle. If you remember, especially Maru, right? Like Maru versus Dark, just Maru games in general. You'd often see like you cut the map in half and Maru just mine out. That was back in like 2022. Right? Am I thinking of Everdream? Is Everdream the map that I'm thinking of? Hold on. Everdream. Yes, Everdream. This was back in... Sorry, 2020. Okay. In my brain, it was 2022. A little bit off. But 2020, yeah, like Everdream, I remember seeing a lot of split map scenarios there. A lot of mined out bases. Meanwhile, we're getting into our game. Solo went for a Hatch Gas Pool, standard opener, and is going for an early Baliness into a Ling Flood. Okay, hyper aggression out of Solar. That's a big investment into these Zerglings. Back at home, Maru going for a 3cc 2-1. No. Same build. Jesus. 3cc, 3 ranks, 2 games in a row. Hyper greed out of Maru. We'll see if Solo can punish. Remember, Solo's going for the all-in. He's going for the Bane Bust. After a 40-minute game, he's done. Solo's like, never again, Pappy, never again. Here we go again. No drones, no saturation here at the third base. The all-in is coming. Purely Lings, purely Banelings. Show us the Banes. There we go. 11 Banelings are morphing in. Here comes the bust. Now remember, the big weakness of this build, and we did point out that this build was weak against Roach all-ins. Against Link Bane all-ins, I'm not entirely convinced, but we'll see. But again, there's no Hellions, right? There's no Hellions, there's no tanks, there's no bunkers. It's purely a vanilla marine composition. The Bane Bust is coming in, and Solo, can he break through? He's going for the main base. He breaks down the front door. The boys are being pulled. There's still a lot of marines left over. We have 3 Banelings. We have 2. We have 1. 0 Banelings left. Oh, sorry, there's 2 more. Yeah, there's 2 more. And Solo's on it. Solo, he has done it. He breaks down the front door, and Maru, he cannot defend. There's nothing here. The greed is punished. GG gets called. And Solar, he will take the series 2-0, advancing on to the playoffs. GG. Whew. GG, well played. And this is where I feel vindicated. Do you remember what I said at the beginning of last game? At the beginning of game 1, when Maru went for his 3cc 3 racks, I was like, this build is not safe for the ladder. I was like, it's really cool that you're seeing this out of Maru. It's not safe for the ladder. It is very, very vulnerable to all-ins. And I joked about like a random Roach all-in would just kill you. Here, Bane Bust. Bane Bust will kill you as well. Winding it back, I do apologize. I was reminiscing about older games and different kind of game states. But Maru, he went for a 3cc 3 racks. This is a very rare build. This is more common against Protoss. This is almost never seen against Zerg. Almost never seen. And again, the ideal way to react to this is either hyper greed or hyper aggression. This is very, very vulnerable to all-ins because your factory is so late, your Hellions are non-existent, your tanks are non-existent. It's not just about not having the production to sustain the defense, but it's also about scouting, right? Because you're delaying your factory, because you have no Hellions, you have no scouting. So you don't see the lack of saturation at the third, right? Maru, he didn't have anything to scout to check if there was drones or if there were lings. So again, that's why this build from Maru is illegal, and he got away with it in game 1. He got away with it in game 1. That's why Maru had a lead in game 1 initially. Here in game 2, Maru tries it 2 games in a row, gets punished. Gets punished. GG, well played. With that, Solo does claim the series. Solo he does advance on, and Maru gets knocked down to the decider match. GG. GG, well played. The build's illegal, papi. It's illegal. Hold on, decider match. Here we go. Here we go. As we're getting into our next game, it is going to be a TVP. It's going to be a rematch, actually, between Maru and Cyan.